So part two of being a good customer. Um, you received a fixed price quote from Upcycle Interiors, and I'm cracking on doing the job. Now I like the jobs that are not straightforward. They're not square boxes. They're not in and out bish bash bosh. They're something a bit more creative, a bit more difficult, weird and wonderful. Maybe you've got some second-hand kitchen units and some units from another place, and you've got some old units from your last place, and it all needs cobbling together, and it's going to look awesome and individual and creative when it's done, but it's not straightforward and simple. I like those jobs. A lot of people don't. So a lot of tradespeople, I find, have got confidence or ego issues. I don't. I like to say I don't. Tell me if I'm wrong. But, and this is the big but, don't try and tell someone how they've got to do the job, because one of my favourite sayings is there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. Now, a tradesperson will say to you, oh, you're doing that wrong. Well, yeah, but I've achieved the same result and I just did it a different way. You've been trained in one way, I've learned in a different way. We both achieve the same result in the same amount of time. We both use the same materials, cost the same price. So if a tradesperson is like doing this weird kitchen cobbled together, and you've got like some units from your old house and then you bought some new ones, and the tradesperson's like, I'm not really sure how to do this, we could do it this way or that way, then it's going to be what I call design and build. It's on the day, on the spot. We're going to build a little bit, take a step back, think about it, design a little bit, build a little bit more, design a little bit more. That is a really good interaction between me and the customer. You'll be involved, you'll be happy at every stage, and it will have all been consulted with you, and the end result will be what you wanted. That's where customer input and which way should we do this way or that way is really appreciated and works really well. What doesn't work really well is if the tradesman's got all their tools out, cracking on with a job, in that person's opinion, the tradesperson's opinion, it's going well, and the customer goes and goes, oh, I wouldn't have done it like that, I want you to do it X, Y, Z. It's like, well, I gave you a price and I'm doing it my way. You're going to get what you wanted at the end of it. You've come and got involved halfway through the job, and that's not the way I'm doing it, and that's not I'm not experienced in doing it the way that you're explaining it, and I also don't have those particular tools, and I've already started in this particular way. So if there is something like that and you want it done in a particular way, you have to say before the job starts. Otherwise, you don't really need to tell that person how to do it, because unless they've come to you for help or advice or said, I'm stumped, I don't know how to do this, which normally doesn't happen because they wouldn't have started the job in the first place or even taken it on. Unless they've done that, where your input's required, really you don't need to tell people how it's done. I don't mind a little bit of advice and a little bit of input, but if you kept doing it, it would wind me up. Other people would probably fly off the handle quicker than me, I would imagine, if you tried to get involved. I'm quite happy for customers to get involved, but there's got to be a line. That brings me to the last point, trust. So as a customer, I normally ask for a small deposit. 10% is my standard amount. That's in my terms and conditions. I normally ask for 10% to secure the job in my calendar. That's because normally a customer is a random stranger I've never met before, and before I book time, which costs me money, before I book time out, I need to have some security that you're not going to cancel on me the night before or even on the morning of the job. 10% is not a lot, and it secures that date in the calendar, and it means that I guarantee I'll turn up on that date and the job's booked. I'm going to do it. So that's the deposit. Please do, sometimes it's like 10 quid, or 50 quid. It's not a lot of money. That brings me on to the last point of trust. So you trust me with that £100 or whatever it is, 10%. You've given me that money, then you trust that I'm going to turn up. I've given you a quote. You've got my address, you've got my name, my company name, all the rest of it. You've got all my details, bank details, you paid a deposit, so you can trust that I am going to turn up. You can Google me and find me, and you've got my number and all that sort of stuff. And I trust that you're not going to cancel on me and mess me about and all this sort of thing, because you've been happy to pay a 10% deposit up front. It also means you've then got my bank details saved, so when the job's done and you're happy with it, it's then really easy for you to make that final transaction of the 90% or whatever it is, the bigger chunk, because you've already got it saved. You just go tap, 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 it's done. So that's the last point, is payment. Normally my payment terms are on the day of completion. Now that is quite important sometimes, because when I'm getting towards the end of the month, that's when all the bills are coming out, If you then delay and pay a few days later and it's rolled into the next month, that can cause cash flow issues. I'm not normally using credit accounts and that sort of stuff because projects aren't normally rolling on for months and months, and I don't normally need to buy on credit because I've got cash flow and cash in the business. But just to help me out, this is to be a good customer, if you can pay relatively soon after the job's done, normally on the day the job's done, I do appreciate you might want to look at it the next day, check that it's dried or whatever it is. It's if it's concrete, brickwork, patio, silicon, check that it's dry and it's done overnight. That's fine. Just when I finish the job and go, right, that's all done, and you go, cool, I'll pay not tomorrow but the next day, then I know you're going to pay 2 days later. That's fine. What I don't like is when it goes on like a week and you go, well, have they forgotten about me? Are they not happy about it? Why am I not getting the money that I need for that job to pay my bills and pay myself salary? Why are they not paying? Is there an issue? So it doesn't have to be the exact day that the quote says it's got to be paid today, as long as you just mention it. You know, I've been working in your house, we've probably built up like a good rapport, and by the time I finish the job, we probably trust each other and know each other, and then the payment isn't an issue. But yeah, prompt payment of deposits, good parking. Or if it's not good parking, let me know where your house is. I want to find you. I honestly do. Just help me out a little bit. And yeah, if it is a bit of, there's some weird stuff in your house, let me know when I price it, so then I can price it properly, and also we can plan for it. We can get specialist tools or materials, rather than halfway through the job go, oh, wasn't expecting that, and you go, oh, should have told him, whoops. So yeah, that's the main key points I think that I can think of off the top of my head. If you think of any more, more than happy I can do a part 3, part 4, part 10. Drop some comments in, and let's start that discussion. That's how you can be a great customer, how we can work really well together. Cheers, bye.